This is the first marathon runner ever. But there's a little bit of a twist on the story here. A lot of people have seen like the tweet or the Instagram post that details the story of how the marathon first began. Usually it includes, a runner um, ran from the city of Marathon to Athens to announce that the Persians were being pushed back and that we had won the war. And then he collapses and dies, and this is why we have the marathon. That runner is usually named Pheidippides in that version.
Hmm.
But with the historical tools that we're working with, I think it's been lost in translation. It appears that Pheidippides had a much bigger feat and a much bigger role in the Greece versus Persian War in 460 BC.
So this is way back. This is
Yeah. So if you think like some guy running 26 miles of pure exhilaration that he's winning
mhm.
and then dying from joy, as actually the many poems say written about it, you think that's impressive? Wait till you hear this. So this is before the Persians attack. The city of Athens gets word that Marathon is about to be charged by the Persians, the city of Marathon, and well, they had all these messengers that were called. I practiced this a bunch. Might be a little bit of a bad pronunciation, but Hamur Odamas, and these were day-long runners. These were just messengers, built marathon runners, but for war. And what Pheidippides was tasked with upon hearing that the Persians were coming, the Greeks were looking to enlist help from Sparta
Hmm.
under the plea that, well, you can't let one of the oldest cities in the world be taken by the barbarians, which
Yeah.
were referring to the Persians. So Pheidippides, tasked with this, runs all the way from Athens to Sparta. This is a span of 150 miles.
Damn.
150
Can't
miles.
even comprehend that. Like just running that.
I actually really wish I had pulled out a calculator before this, because like 26 miles is a marathon, right?
Yeah.
So times that by however much, and you finally get 150 miles.
Yeah. Times by 6,
And
5.
what's more incredible about this is that he did it in a matter of 2 days. And so he gets to the Sparta. He's
Hmm.
exhausted, and now he has to make a plea. Now he has to make a really convincing argument for why Sparta should help Athens in their time of need. Uh, so he successfully does, by actually the argument that I just put to you. Can't let it fall to the barbarians.
Yeah.
So they're like, yes, of course we'll help you. Unfortunately, we're having a bit of festival right now.
Come back in a couple days.
Yeah, come back and check on us in a little bit.
There's a great place back in Athens you can stay.
Not quite. Actually, so yeah, so what is this called actually? It's the Festival of Carnea. Which essentially prevents them from entering war or the field of battle until the next full moon, which thankfully is only a week away.
Hmm.
So it could be worse. 6 days away. Not too bad, right?
Yeah.
So Pheidippides like, thank you so much. Amazing. He grabs a bite to eat, gets some food. He has a nap. And the historian, the ancient Greek historian that details this 50 years later,
Hmm.
calls it a nap. And then he gets back on the road again, because this message has got to get back to Athens so they can figure out their next move to proceed. Now they got to hold out for 6 days until Spartans get here, which, by the way, they have travel time too and a whole army. So it's a big thing. He has to get there right away to let them know.
Quick power nap, though. That's all he's got.
This is for military strategy. This is dire wartime. This is do or die. We could lose to the Persians
Mhm.
if he doesn't get back in time, and if they make a wrong choice when it comes to military strategy. So he runs 150 miles back. And what's insane about this is that he runs it in 2 days once again. So he kept the same pace as on the way there, on the way back.
Mhm.
You can't stop this guy. And actually, we were talking about diet for Josh Naylor.
Yeah.
I just want to put in, he was like eating like figs and like olives and like stuff like that.
So he's on like the Christian Bale diet from The Machinist. He's got like an apple and a coffee a day. That's about it.
Basically, yeah. I mean, like that was all the runners back then. The day-long runners,
Yeah.
military rations, give them what they need and nothing else, and
Okay.
away you go. On the way back, he starts hallucinating.
No shit.
Yeah, you could have probably seen that coming.
Yeah.
He hallucinates that a god from Greek mythology is speaking to him.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to take a guess which one?
Um.
For the
Well,
1 in a million chance you'll get, because there's a million.
yeah. I mean, like Hermes is god of messengers, so that would be my guess.
That's a pretty good guess. Yeah, that's a really good guess.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, wrong. It's actually the god Pan.
Oh.
And
Okay.
the reason it's the god Pan, as Pan so eloquently puts it,
Mm-hmm.
uh, or the hallucination of Pan
Yeah.
eloquently puts it, is that he had shown a lot of familiarity and niceties to Athens over the years, and they were not acknowledging him. So the god Pan sent piled onto the message from the Spartans and said, also let them know that if they don't, sacrifice their leftover food or pray to me,
Yeah.
then they will lose this war.
I feel like Pan should probably like take it easy. Like this guy's like got the fate of the whole war on his back, and you're just giving him more information. Like, what if he forgets the first thing?
Yeah, this guy's running himself into the ground.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, miraculously, he remembers both these messages, and
Yeah.
he gets back 4 days total for 300 miles. And he gets back, lets them know both messages. I don't know what their reaction to Pan was. Might have just been like, whatever. Spartan's coming, great.
Yeah.
Anyway, this informs them, and they're able to mount a military strategy that I might as well get into because it's kind of interesting.
Sure.
They waited till the Persian horsemen had gone to bed. These are officers, so they have a nice little bedtime for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And they killed all their horses to slow their attack to them. And Pheidippides, by the way, survived, despite what you may think.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really hear too much about him after, other than this legend. But he didn't die immediately upon entering, like the legend may lead you to believe. And then, so as the Persians are attacking Marathon, the Spartans get there. They're fighting off. Marathon's still under attack, but it looks like they're starting to win. They took down like 7 Persian ships. Things are looking great.
Yeah.
And so they have to send a messenger. They have to send another Hemerodamus, day-long runner messenger back to Athens to tell them things are going great.
Yeah.
So legend has it, this guy takes the message. We don't get his name. He runs. He's sometimes named Pheidippides, but it's not him.
Yeah.
According to anyone. And he gets there, and after running 26 miles from Marathon to Athens, 26 miles the length of a marathon, and his heart gives out as soon as he gets there. Poems say from the joy of the exhilarating message. But yeah, that's why they call it a marathon. And that's why we have marathons. It's commemorated in the Olympics, and that's what they drew on when they revitalized the Olympics in our modern era.
Huh. So I mean, like you have the ties between like ancient Greece, like that's where the Olympics started. So obviously you get that.
Yep.
But and also I can kind of see why Pheidippides would get the big clout for that, considering he ran like I said, like 6 times or 7 times greater distance than the actual marathon.
I am rather glad that he gets credit for this,
Yeah.
even if it is sort of underwhelming when you compare it to his actual journey.
Yeah.
And his actual role that was very influential in the war. I mean, like when you compare like a victory message going back to Athens and then, recruiting help from the Spartans, obviously one is quite a bit more valuable.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously like it's like 1,000, 2,000 years before any of our other stories. But still, like, there's so much more in that sporting event, even if it wasn't a sporting event at the time, than just, like, whoever wins. Because it's a war. There's so many lives on the line at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. And, well, if that's it, I'm just going to take a moment to plug something here.
Yeah, go for it.
Unlike Pheidippides, I am not running 150 miles, but I am running 42 kilometers. in a virtual marathon on May 2nd, raising money for the Heart and Stroke Foundation. I'm doing that with my girlfriend. So I'll put a link in the description, and if you'd like to donate, that would be fantastic. I think we might have hit our donation goal already, but please don't let that deter you. It's just the support's been really good so far. So
No,
yeah,
even if
check the
it's
description.
even if it's not the 150 miles, it's a good cause. So
Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there.
yeah,
Actually, you know what? Interestingly enough, I read a runner's blog, and you can do that race. Actually,
the actual race, like the 150 that he did.
yeah. So they break it up for you though, because they're humane.
Yeah,
Uh,
good.
yeah. But
Quick
this one
power
guy I was
nap.
reading about did the diet that you would have if you were a Hemerodamus.
Mhm.
Hemerodamus. He took that diet, and basically you have like to run like I think maybe like 50 miles. You have like 9 hours to do it, which is insane. Usually they give you like 11 or 12 for like those ultra runners.
Mhm.
But it's like really really quick qualifying. So you do that for like all day, like 10 hours, and then if you make it, you keep going. If you don't, you're eliminated, and then you go to the next leg of the journey very next day, and
Damn.
you eventually go from all the way from Athens to Sparta. You can still do that exact route that Pheidippides did, which is pretty cool, eh?
And I'm sure you will probably hallucinate Pan on the way.
You're almost guaranteed.
Oh,
I think.
absolutely. Yeah. No, that's a cool story. I really like the ancient Greek kind of stories and how they tie into like the modern events that we have now.
Mhm.
There's like so many links between that, especially with the Olympics.
Yeah, and you hear about all these like great Greek soldiers and heroes and commanders and
Hmm.
Caesars, but some of the unsung heroes are these Hemerodamuses,
Hmm.
these day-long runner messengers that got things around.
Yeah.
So, like without them, the war effort would almost be impossible to coordinate.
Damn. No, that's cool. Especially because like they're not really given credit for it.
Hmm.
So
Yep, and yeah, and that's why we have marathons.